What's up, fam? Welcome to the show. Everyone in here, out there, everywhere, welcome to Raider Bear family page. Raider Bear Live. That's right, everybody pile in. Find your seats. There's plenty back in the pew. Did I just imply my show is like going to church? Gosh darn right I did. Where was I? Oh yeah. Raiders! Woo! Pure energy, all adrenaline, excitement. Raiders. Who's having a better free agency than the Raiders? Nobody, that's who. And that's even with us getting a few swings and misses. Okay, we swung and missed on Ben Johnson. And other people. But we got what we need. Often imitated, never duplicated. That fool with no hair, that shouts like Ric Flair. Woo! Woo! The Raider Bear! Raiders! I heard like bad words coming out of my song for a second there. Like what? Wait a minute, I gotta scan this. Alexa, hush your mouth. No, I don't want to hear that song. I want you to hush. Here we go. Wait a minute. What's this? Good Lord. It's like a hillbilly rock track from the 40s. Alexa, please stop that. Travis! See, now there's not that many people watching yet, so I kind of got away with the dance. Only you 20 people know. So don't talk about that. I'm not going to bring it up again. Raider Bear Live, first comment. Woo, MVP tonight goes to the two-time champion belt holder of the world, Mark Vargas. See, John Leon, I can't even consider you for the middleweight title. He has to still wear it because no one has really jumped out and definitively held on to second place, let alone first place. Mark Vargas, you're going to be alone as the champion, I think, for a while. Second place, S.A. Big Dog. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Always there for Raider Bear, and one of my favorites, Ramiro Cashflow Castro. My usual awesome people. What's up, Ramiro? Welcome to the show. Always there for Raider Bear. Mark Vargas, S.A. Big Dog, and Ramiro Cashflow Castro. And you know, my emoji making son of a gun, Mark Vargas, he's starting to get kind of dominant. Honorable mention to Jason Morales. I love your last name, bro. And Gabriel Davis. What's up, Gabriel? Welcome to the show. Gabe from Springfield, Missouri. What's up, brother? I'll post that. Looking strong, brother. Good profile pic. All right, moving on to Facebook. Numero uno, el jefe number one, Carlos Boy Kid. Okay, Carlos, I made up my mind. You need to go ahead. We're going to go to Tijuana. We're going to get into an illegal street fighting match. It'll be in the ring and no blows to the groin. And, you know, I need you to win. I need to do that announcement for you, bro. It feels too good. Second place, Silver Medal, that sultry singing son of a gun, Lucky Pace. So that is He has one of those voices. He doesn't even have to reach deep for it, and it goes all Barry White on you. Third place, bronze medal, Mr. Irrelevant. He probably knows who he is now because I hit him with that one. Bob! And really, Casey. Stannard! What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Broke bread with him. That's my guy right there, Bob Stannard. Honorable mention to Mike Henderson and Dustin. Hey, what's up, Dustin King? Welcome to the show. Always there for Raider Bear. Dustin King, I can just tell you, honestly, Mark Vargas has been sitting on that heavyweight title kind of looking at you funny. I noticed it the other day. He was just like, look at Dustin King, that former champion over there. I didn't know why he said former champion like that. It almost felt like he was trying to egg you on. I don't know. He called just Josh Russell a has-been. I'm like, oh, jeez, man, Mark Vargas, man, he's really letting this go to his head. Chris Strong, what's up? Show. Tony Make It Dip, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Darren Patterson, I see you there. Jason Morales, I only said it again because I love that name. Rodney Fuller, what's up? Raiders Tradish. Corinna. True. Hello. When you hear those lovely bells, that means that I have just received stars from one of my viewers. And if you enjoy the show and my content, please give stars when you can. Please subscribe and view when you can. And if you're on YouTube, we'd love it if you'd subscribe. Now, with either subscription, be it whether it's Facebook or on YouTube, you can cancel anytime, cost you after that. Love you guys. Jason Ray, what's up? Welcome to the show. Making that dance a gift. No. Rodney, you can't threaten me, okay? Corinna, why is it while you're saying your lips are sealed, it feels like your lips are not sealed? I don't know. I think you might even find the funny in that. Speaking of which, Corinna, true, hello. I gotta say it different each time. Rick Samarano, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. My island brother, always there for Raider Bear. Jason Morales says, in your opinion, who are we picking at 6? Okay, now, in my opinion, which, is often spot on, Ashton Ginty is going to be a Raider. And it's really because this crop we have coming out isn't quarterback heavy. But because we've signed a quarterback, we don't really have that issue now. Second, it's not offensive heavy, period. This draft, 2025, is going to lean most of its high-end stars and talent are defensive players, defensive linemen, and then, they've got some wide receivers and running backs mixed in there, especially running backs. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say there's something in the neighborhood of 7 to 8 running backs that could come out of this draft that are real impressive. And I even heard someone say this out loud. There's at least 2 Saquon Barkleys in this draft. Now, to me, that's a big name to be throwing around. So when I actually found that and read that coming from a scout in a podcast, I was pretty surprised. But he made it clear that he couldn't decide between the 2 guys. So as of airtime last night, 9:30-ish, he said basically if I was going to make the Saquon Barkley comparison, I would say there's 2 in this draft. As soon as I heard that, I was like, okay, I think it's happening. Even though there's depth there. You don't want depth. You want the best. And so, especially when you're picking at 6. And I'm hearing over and over again that the Raiders were very interested in the Najee Harris thing. Najee Harris has moved on and made a contract with another team. So now we're back to square one with the running back situation. See, to me, if you look closely at free agency, what was our team doing? Spytech and Coach Pete were basically shoring up the spots where we needed help in free agency or trades first. not putting kids there to where we're now going to need a kid to make a big contribution. For example, Tommy Eichenberg's name started getting thrown around because we lost Robert Spillane, our leading tackler and middle linebacker, and then our other up-and-coming talent who we had been grooming for a while in Divine Diablo. Now, you blew up your middle there. Now, we all know that the middle, most of what happens in the middle, your defensive line sets that. But you also have to have your linebackers to clean up the mess on those times when those running backs do find those gaps and get through in the middle interior of your defense. You need linebackers that can bring them down. Now, when we signed the kid, I don't have my note right next to me, but when we had signed the middle linebacker from the Steelers, 1 year, $10 million, beautiful. You know what I mean? We got him at a nice economical price because I did see other linebackers going for 1 year deals, but those linebackers were going for 14 million, 17 million, that kind of thing. So we got nice player on the cheap, smart, capable, all pro. So he'll be good for us. The kid Chinny, the defensive back, big move. I really liked that a lot. Let me keep going up here real quick. Okay, so with Jeremy Chin and then Alandon Roberts. Excuse me, I was just forgetting his last name. Alandon Roberts. Very nice. And then don't forget, we re-signed both our Butler brothers in Adam Butler and Matthew Butler. So you have a process there. What do I mean? I mean the middle always has to be built first, like an I. The middle of the defensive line, the middle of the linebackers, and the middle of your defensive backfield with your safety. So we brought in Jeremy Chin. That figures out the safety position, especially since we lost Trayvon Merrick. We brought in the new cornerback, Eric Stokes. Everyone's really excited about him. And now you pair him with Jones. With Jack Jones, we should have something there. Okay, so we also added. Where'd you go? Excuse me. Well, not added. We re-signed 1 year prove-it deal. I liked it. Malcolm Kuntz. I didn't feel like that was an exciting move to make with Malcolm Kuntz, but at least we know it. We saw what he did. He did improve and play better football than he ever had when he was given a chance by a coach that he knew wasn't going to pull him in and out and in and out and in and out like that idiot McDaniels. So when he got an opportunity, he did well. Now, just recently, MSNBC did a rating of all the teams and their free agency moves thus far going into the draft, and we were one of the highest rated teams. The Las Vegas Raiders got a B+ from them as far as the work we did with our contracts. The only thing that they did wrong, which I actually mentioned the other day, and they agreed with me on this, was when they released now I'm forgetting his name. It's idiot. It was one of our offensive linemen we released. When we released him, we have now $7 million of dead money, and we got back like $1.5 million from him in structured money that would go back into our cap. But if we had waited, it even just kept him on Andre James. If we had just waited and kept Andre James on the bench until the end of the season, we don't even have to play him. He was going to get paid that contract anyway. He was probably going to be on the bench anyway because of Jackson Powers Johnson, excuse me. I get my Jackson Powers mixed up because I have one of my Warriors, my Golden State Warriors, I was center with almost the exact same name. But with him being the starter now, you just keep Andre James for depth. He was already on the roster. You're already paying him peanuts. You know what I mean? And you're not going to save as much as you taking a hit on dead money if you release him before you go into the end of next season. But they did it anyway. But I guess they felt like they had enough money because even if we did start making a lot of our initial moves, we still had 10, 11 million left in cap space to make more moves as we go into the draft and then the season. Erman Gonzalez, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Dwayne A. Turner, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show. Jeff Poindexter, I love that name. I'm doing good, bro. Appreciate you asking. James and Princetta Walker, family in the house. That's my peoples. Troy Gill, how you doing, man? Armando Medrano, what's up? Bear! Thank you, Rick Samarano. Yeah, Bear, you need to know that when I say I'm not saying anything, that means TDG to the ground. I already know that about you, Craig. I couldn't help but tell the joke, though. Bear, with all the players we let go and new ones we picked up, What are our biggest position of concern besides quarterback? Well, we don't even have a concern at quarterback anymore, to be quite honest with you. I know people feel different ways about Geno Smith, okay? I'm sure some of you in my audience feel different ways about Geno Smith. Some of you are cool with it. Others, you can't, believe we did this. This guy was a perennial backup, just trying to make his name, with the Seahawks a little bit. And now suddenly our new coach, because he coached him, should bring him here. Why? He is what he is. Well, what he is one of the highest completion percentage quarterbacks in the NFL. Look it up. He had a season at 69.8% for almost the whole season in 2022. In 2023, he threw for 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. You notice I didn't look at any notes. I remember it because I was impressed by it. And then the very next season, which was just this last season, he threw for 4,000 yards again, 22 touchdowns, and had 15 interceptions. So his interceptions went up a little bit because I felt like the year after 2022, they lost pieces. They tried to replace them. They didn't quite. And actually, the Seattle Seahawks team that they fielded in 2004 technically wasn't as good as the 2023 team. So now we have Geno. We just got to build around him a little bit. We have quietly made our offensive line look pretty formidable. You have to admit, if we can get things right on the right side, we've got this. Because our left tackle, left guard, center, and right guard now with Alex Kappa are going to be tight. I mean tight. Okay, so now we just have to figure out what's going to happen at right tackle. My money's on DJ Glaze. I like the guy we had starting before. I'm forgetting his name right now, but I like him. So I feel like we're in a win-win situation because I liked our tackle last year. I just think that he needed more time under his belt. No, Gabriel, it's funny you say that, but Gabriel, I want you to remember this day, okay, that I told you this. What is this, the 22nd? 12th? 12th. It's the 12th. Remember this, Gabriel. We're going to get Ashton Genty with that number 6 pick. And when we get Ashton Genty, and I'm basing it on that. So obviously if we go into this draft and we don't pick him, then I don't know how it's all going to pan out for you. Because, like, for example, I know that Eric Chubb or Chris Chubb, whatever that running back's name is that used to play for the Browns, he's hitting free agency. Chubb is nice. There were a couple seasons there that there were more than a few analysts that argued he was the best running back in football as far as pure running back, not catching the ball out, on the flat and things like that. He could do that, but they were rating him strictly on what are the greatest advantages of having a power running back. Get through the middle, but still have enough speed to get around the edge and sometimes run hooks and slants and laterals and things like that. Well, Ashton Genty can do that, and he just looks like the real deal. Possibly Dart in round 2, if he will be there. Raiders may trade up to get him for a second pick. Now, Geno Smith in now, that relieves pressure pulling the trigger at 6 for a quarterback. Rick, I think the fact that they signed Geno Smith signals that they're not going to take quarterback. And if they do, they're going to take it late. I'm thinking, I've got the picks right here in front of me. Okay, our third round pick at 68, we used to get Geno Smith. So it would probably be number 108 pick in round 4. Because I don't think that there's going to be 12 quarterbacks off the board before round 4. You know what I mean? Because we have the 108th pick in round 4. So relatively quick. Round 5, we have pick number 143. So that means we're less than 40 picks, something like 36, 37 picks before it's our next pick in the 4th round. Get me? And so I could see where they would target someone on that 108th pick round 4 or even 143rd pick round 5. Because again, it's close within 30-ish picks. But I'm thinking it's Genty. Will likely be good, but comparing him to Barkley might be a stretch. Who would be the other one? Tim Newport. All right, hang on. Now you asked me a valid question. Let me go here first. Okay, so the other there's actually more than one other quarterback that was getting his name bounced around at potentially the next guy. Because, see, they have Ashton Ginty right now rated as a 92.5 overall, okay? Then it drops down a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit, in Omarion Hampton of North Carolina at 87.3, and then last one, Caleb Johnson, I think that's Iowa? I'm not sure, but he had, what was it, let me see. I think that's Iowa. Hamilton, Ohio, okay. Well, I mean, that doesn't matter, but the point is, it was Caleb Johnson. So it would have been between Omarion Hampton and Caleb Johnson. If Ashton Ginty were off the board, that's where they would probably be looking. What was the other guy? There was another guy mentioned. I'm looking at the list right now. No, it wasn't that guy. Okay, I'm sorry. Brashard Smith. Right here, notes on him. The burst, acceleration, and natural pass catching ability show day 2 potential in a speed-based attack inside zone and duo concepts. So with Brashard Smith, you would be bringing in a guy that's used to catching the ball on the flat, used to playing in an offense where the ball comes out in 3 seconds, because that is a lot of what Chip Kelly does. And I'm looking at his measurables. He's 5'10". He ran a 4.39. And he weighs 195 pounds. That's a big boy running a 4.39. That's a big boy. Hang on, let me look at their other. Yeah, see, the other guy that weighs 220 ran a 4.62. 213 ran a 4.58. My boy ran a 4.39, a sub 4.4. That is fast, man. So Brashard Smith might be wearing a Raiders sometime soon. And that's actually faster than Ashton Ginty, who ran a 4.42. And that's blazing. The next closest guys next to him as far as overall talent ran a 4.46, slightly slower, a 4.57, slightly slower than Caleb Johnson. 4.43, whoa, that's only at 1/100th of a second slower than Ashton Ginty. So another burner. Okay, let me go back to your questions here. And all I want to add, too, if any of you are ever considering doing a podcast, do me a favor and look in the notes in the moments, right in the beginning, my card when it shows my shows coming on. There's a little link there. If you click on that, it takes you right into StreamYard, downloads it for you and everything. It's free. You only pay for if you want extra memory to keep more of your film and more of your movies that you've already done, shows you've already done, and it stockpiles them like in a cloud, but they do it for you. Check that out. Well, Rodney Fuller, I'm going to be honest with you. I do think I'm right. And I honestly, I'm always the first to say I'm not sure, I don't know. This kind of stuff is speculation, and it is. But if you look at what Pete Carroll's doing, and I'm asking you this question specifically, Rodney Fuller, I'm asking you how you feel about it. Don't you think he's kind of trying to rebuild the Legion of Doom? And not because he's trying to mimic it, it's what he knows how to make, is a vicious attacking defense that has size so its good tacklers can hit, but more importantly, the communication. That's what people lose with Pete Carroll. See, they see that grandpa smile and him hopping around and pumping his fist with his players literally every day, morning, noon, and night, and games. But what they don't understand is that's communication. He is creating a communication by being so open to the players that they'll all come and say, hey, how do we do this? And what do you mean by that? So the communication is going to be there. He wants that. Where a guy like Josh McDaniels expects you to just come to school, listen to what he says, and then class dismissed. And you better be ready when we test. That was the attitude he had with our roster. Pete Carroll's exactly the opposite. He goes, this is what we got. Sit down and get ready to test. But before you do, let's recap everything. Make sure you guys feel comfortable about what you need to know. All right, let's go. You know what I mean? Now, what he does is he goes to his corners and his safeties. His corners and his safeties will signal each other with hand signals. Now, that's not new to football. Guys have been doing that for a long time, but not quite as well as Pete, because Pete actually has classes on that very matter. He needs his corners on every single play to be able to convey to his safeties what he's seeing, including the linebackers. So there's a lot of signaling and communication that goes on. Why is that? That is the way the defense confuses the offense, because the offense always tries to confuse the defense by using lots of different words, using lots of different cadences, going stand, hurt, you know what I mean? And changing it over and over again. And that's their way of tricking the defense. Well, with signals between your defensive backs, your safeties, and your linebackers, you create that same signal system, and they can counter things they see happening in front of them. Class dismissed. GT at 6, where does Dart do? Will the Raiders trade up to get Dart on the second or get that right guard? Honestly, Rick, I would be thinking about the right guard. Geno Smith's going to be here for at least 2 seasons, okay? No matter how bad he plays, and I think he's going to play well. I really do. I think we're going to impress some people. Because, see, in Seattle, he didn't even have as good a line as we have. I go look it up. I promise you, Seattle's line, both statistically and the eye test, is not as good as us. And we're about to get better. Because remember, we just brought in an experienced bar bouncer, brawler in Alex Kappa. Okay, that guy can ball, and he's been around. He's won rings. Okay, so now we only have to shore up right tackle. That's it. Because remember, we've got Parnham at right tackle, Johnson, Powers, Davis at center. You got Colton Miller at our left tackle. I always forget his name for some reason. And then left guard was, I forget where, but I know we have Cody Whitehair for depth, and it's just we're going to be really good on our offensive line. Now it's just a matter of getting that right tackle side shorn up. Because, see, I'm even saying the right tackle side will be better. Now, whether it's shorn up, which is just my way of saying we found our starter. We've got it. It's solid now. That's shorn up. Right now, we don't have that. What we have is a couple of different guys fighting for the position that, they all look pretty good. My money's on DJ Glaze. I think DJ Glaze is going to win the right tackle spot. Anthony A. said, "Hi, Bear. Are the Raiders going to sign Jacoby Myers?" Anthony, the longer it takes, the less likely it is. And then you also have to consider certain wide receivers are out there like Tyler Lockett, who is a former wide receiver to Pete Carroll. He's not a young guy, but he's not old yet. He's still very effective. So he could be a good player for us. But the reason I bring up that point is that he won't try to break the bank with us. He just wants to stay in the league and have a greater chance of performing well with Pete than he would going somewhere else. Also, Stephon Diggs is out there in free agency still as of airing of this show. I checked, he was still up there. Now, I know Stephon Diggs was kind of a malcontent with the Bills, but I just don't know if that's a reason to not get a guy, that you can win with. Because my whole thing is this: you don't see a malcontent when you're winning, right? I mean, think about any time that you had a wide receiver start acting like a jerk. The team was losing, not winning. When you're winning, everything's good, even if you are a malcontent. So see, if we can get him on the roster, a guy like Stephon Diggs, I want that kind of natural ability. We can't keep always going for guys that we know we can afford. We can't always keep going for guys that we know will restructure. Sometimes at a position, you just got to go, hey, we got to get that guy. You know what I mean? That's why I feel like we're going to pick up Ashton Jeanty. That's going to be his Marshawn Lynch. And before you start laughing at me, obviously he's not Marshawn Lynch. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that he'll resemble him, though. He's going to give him yards. He's going to get him touchdowns. Is he going to break off a 25-yarder, stiff-arming a guy and putting his helmet in someone else's chest and going 20 more yards for a touchdown? Let's hope so. But that's Marshawn Lynch. So I'm not ready to say anything like that about Ashton Jeanty. What I am willing to say, though, is the guy coming out of college, if he can do in the NFL, even sometimes things he was doing in college, bring it on in, kid. I'd love to see that. Jai Davis, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. What's up, Bear? What's your outlook on all the moves? I see old Pete bring them killers on cheap prove-it money. I think it works out. Yeah, because, you see, some people feel like if you give them a prove-it deal, it's only a year, they're not going to be happy enough. Or they're not going to play as hard. Or they're just going to play out that year, and then if you keep them good, if you don't, I'll just go somewhere else. That's not the attitude that you get from that. I'm telling you. You have to remember, put yourself in their shoes. What is the highest likelihood of you having success? Going along with the program, being a team guy, embracing everything Pete Carroll's teaching. If you do those things and you're talented, it's going to come out. Pete knows how to do that. If he sees you and he'll go, oh, okay, look, that kid, he'd be good doing that. And then he's going to put that kid in that position. So now if he doesn't perform, that's on him. You know what I mean? So I think we're going to have a lot of guys in here. They're going to perform. I think it's going to be really good. And it's going to be like Malcolm Kuntz. Malcolm Kuntz made a little show of what he was potentially capable of last year. And I love the fact that they dangled that little bit of money, that few, what was it, 10, 16 million, somewhere in that range, 10, 16 million. But Malcolm Kuntz will be coming out the edge for us, but just this year. So he knows. I mean, I'm asking all of you honestly. I mean, if you knew you weren't going to have a job after that season to feed your family, to dress your daughter, to take your wife on vacation, and the only thing you got to do is go out there and bust people in the butt, just put foot to ass, okay? R8RBEAR! I'm getting excited about it already. And you go out there and you put boots to booties, you're going to win and you're going to get brought back, or you're going to get a big contract from somewhere else. And that's the cool part. For him, he's in his 20s still. So go get it, and if you don't, you'll end up on another team, at least one more try, I would think. Raider DeVillion, I like Ginty, but not at 6. I think they'll still draft Sanders if he's there, or BPA, but not a running back, offensive lineman, or D10 tackle, wide receiver, or something like that. Well, too much bust at wide receiver, quarterback, and running back, in truth. But if you can get the number one ranked guy in one of those three categories, then the likelihood of bust goes down. Not off, but it goes down. So I still think that Ginty's going to be the pick. I agree with what you're saying, though. I would say 90% of the time, that wouldn't be the pick. You don't go for running backs that high. I think he looks like the truth, though. Yeah, Rick, I see the interceptions by Geno, but I don't think that that's what we're going to see in Chip Kelly's offense. I really don't. I think that he got the interceptions because he throws a lot of deep balls. We would finally have a deep ball quarterback for Raider Nation, the franchise that made the deep ball exist, made it cool, made it effective, made it a weapon. Well, the team that did all those things, the Raiders, is going to bring that back because Geno's got plenty of arm. Just watch any video of him and you'll see he's got plenty of arm. Okay, Rick says we need a right guard. I don't agree with that. I think we have enough for that. Right tackle we do need, but we need someone to step out in the light. I'm not necessarily ready to say that the right tackles we have aren't good enough. I'm not. I realize that might seem crazy. I know some Raider fans are like, no, we don't have any good right tackle right now on the roster. I disagree with that. I think we have two guys that are good enough. And then position, quarterbacks, running back, center. We're good at center. We need depth. So I would get a center in the late rounds. Middle linebacker, definitely, and safety, definitely. But you notice the positions like, okay, you said safety, we need help. Okay, but we've already got a starter. So now we can go in either a free agency or college, depending on how it plays out, and get a guy to come in, play with an experienced veteran that can ball. So I really do. I think we're going to be okay. I really do. If you look, we brought in Alex Kappa. Alex Kappa can play right guard. So while we're doing that, we can look at the other people for depth. But regardless, we could bring in one guy for right guard depth for free agency and another guy from the draft. Boom. I think we made solid moves, but it seems like we are leaving money on the table. Well, Darren, we just got started. You got to understand, the free agency period, all that, it had just gotten started, and we were already making moves. And there'll be more. There really will. Probably the quarterback pick would be around round 5 or 6. Bob, I think that's possible because you got a Geno Smith. You've already got a backup in AOC. We don't have to trade him. You know, we've still got him on the cheap in his rookie deal. So you bring in Geno. You got AOC. Now, if you see someone that was a good quarterback on your board, Okay, not Jackson Dart or anything, but let me bring up the board for a second because I know I have the quarterbacks here, and we can kind of go off, and I'll just give you a name I'm thinking of right off the top of my head. Okay, so if you're waiting that long, if you're waiting for the 5th or 6th round, you're probably looking at Curtis Rourke. Let's see, Curtis Rourke, Tyler Show from the Cardinals, and let's see, University of Houston, Donovan Smith, excuse me. Maybe Kyle McCord of Syracuse because he is registered as the 8th highest ranked quarterback on the board for this draft, the 8th highest. So at the 8th highest, I got to figure between those other 7 quarterbacks, they're going to get spread out between rounds 1, 2, 3, and 4. And by the time you get to 5 and 6, people are going to just be putting in Band-Aid pieces. Oh, well, there's a pretty good left guard. Go ahead and get him, even though we're solid left guard. We can use him in case of emergencies, you know what I mean, or injuries. And when you're getting to the 6th and 7th rounds, that's what the guys like that are really for anyway. It doesn't mean you can't find a great talent at that round, but it's less likely. Skadaboo is a old powerhouse back. I think will work his butt off to be good. And I love his name, Jai. I saw him. He was Skadaboo. Where was he? I think he was like, I'm just going to tell it you because I bet you're curious because I think he was only like 5th on the board or something like that. He wasn't very far off at all. Let me see. Where did I see Skadaboo? Whoops. Okay, like that and like that. There we go. Okay, let's see. Skadaboo. Oh, where'd he go? Oh, you know what? He's not on the board. Wow. I know I saw his name, though. I read about him a little bit. Maybe they had him just outside of the top 12. Because I've got what they consider the top 12 here, and they're not rating it out. No Skadaboo. I'm trying to look where I saw, because I was reading about the running backs because I found out just through some research that I did that I really honestly think the Raiders are going with Ginty at number 6. So I was reading about him, I was watching a little bit of tape, and then I took a look at Jonathan Brooks, nice size, 216, 220 pounds, ran a 4.45. I like him, and he's 6 feet tall. He's not small, but he's not overtly tall, getting to 6'3", 6'5", like myself. He's still down just a little bit, can get low and make those plays you want to see. Jalen Wright, I thought that was another good one. Tennessee. 5'10", a little on the short side, but makes up for it at 210 pounds. And wow, a 4.38, 40. And so that's moving. And honestly, you can't really put too much into their 40 times anymore because you're seeing more and more now. As soon as the season ends for these college players, the very first thing they do is they go to a workout trainer who prepares them to do well on the drills, and so they end up getting faster and faster times as they go to the combine. So Dart will not be available when we pick in the 2nd. We would have to trade up. Well, Dustin, I'm not even really fully concerned about Dart. You know what I mean? We've got Geno Smith. In the next 2 years, there's going to be other guys coming out of college that are going to show and prove, and we'll be able to find a starter then if we really needed it, because you've got a 1 and a 2 right now already set on the roster. So there would be no sense to go after a quarterback high in the rounds now. Troy Gill, yeah, we signed another linebacker. Or not linebacker? No, yeah, I told you about. Oh, it was Eric Stokes. Eric Stokes is coming to us. Real nice cornerback for us to upgrade a little bit. And don't forget, we had Jack. We had Jumpin' Jack and Ja'Cory Bennett, and they both played pretty well. They weren't shut down corners, but they had shut down plays. There were times when you could not get, you couldn't get the ball out against them. And so they're coming back, but we're bringing some depth in case we don't necessarily want to stick with Jack. You know what I mean? Because Jack is kind of a Dennis Rodman, kind of Terrell Owens, kind of. And, there's nothing wrong with that. You need guys like that. You need guys with edge. The Raiders have always had guys with edge. But new coaches coming through the door don't necessarily like guys with edge unless they're like the best player at their position, like in the league. You know what I mean? You back in the old days, if you were going to become a head coach of the New York Giants and you walked in and met Lawrence Taylor, I mean, you just had to deal with it, you know. But the guy was high on coke, cheating on his wife, paying for brothels, you know. He was a nutcase, and I would be willing to bet most of his coaches knew it. And you know, what do? He's too good. That running back from North Carolina is going to be that back. I think makes a standout rookie. Jai Davis, I could very well see that. Joe Holman, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Hey, first time listener. My buddy Tim turned me on to the show, so I figured I'd give it a whirl. If you had a choice between getting Genty or trading up and snagging Abdul Carter, whoa, from Penn State, correct? Take the pressure off Crosby. What's your opinion? I don't think Crosby feels pressure. I know what you meant, but I don't think Crosby feels pressure. Even when they double team him, he usually splits it or takes it wide where the inside defensive man gets pinned in on the left shoulder of the right tackle. You see what I'm saying? And so, no, but I want to answer, because I know what you're saying. I want to answer your question. But I think that's the real reason why they paid Malcolm Kuntz, because Malcolm Kuntz showed he could do the job last year, but it was in a very short sample size. So there's no way to really know, is that going to carry over now? Was that growth, speed, strength, and knowledge of the game and confidence that you've increased that's going to carry itself over to next year? Well, we're going to find out. They gave him 1 year to prove it, that you can be the guy that helps Max get free or capitalizes every time Max can't get free because he's being doubled and sometimes technically triple teamed because they have the running back fade over. As soon as the ball's snapped, the running back shoves him in his shoulder and then runs out into the flat. Just that shove from a strong running back is enough to make him go like that for a moment and then have to reacclimate himself and then go again at the right tackle. If you're doing that, even a guy as talented as Max, it's going to be tough unless the quarterback holds onto the ball and sees a 7-step drop, you know, a 5-second hold, then okay, but otherwise, no. Appreciate the view, Joe. If you like what you see, please consider a subscription to Raider Bear family page, and I really appreciate it. And you can cancel it anytime on my Facebook or on my YouTube. I can definitely see us getting Dart somewhere along the line because he played quarterback with the Raiders center and just makes too much sense as far as looking forward. Corey, I'm trying to think of the right way to say this. Corey, I agree with you. You see that they're doing that. The guys on our coaching staff worked for or used to work for Pete Carroll. People we have on our offense are former players or in college or the pros at the time when Chip Kelly came up the first time. There's guys here that know our staff. It's smart. I happen to agree with it. But as far as Dart, I feel like if you bring in Dart, you have to do the same thing you've done to AOC. Give him at least 2 or 3 years of sitting there, which he's not going to want to do. And that's the old school way of doing it. When you bring in a highly rated quarterback, it's expected that they're going to throw the ball and be the starter at some point. Otherwise, the owner's putting a ton of rookie money. You know, I mean, obviously rookie deals are the cheapest ones, but he's still putting money into a guy that he's not getting anything from that's sitting on the bench. And so as a rule, if you bring in one of these high-priced, young, you know, exciting running backs, you're going to let him start. And bringing in Geno doesn't imply that. Omarion Hampton, 6 foot, 225. I like it, and I liked his time too. I just saw. At Anthony A. Jacoby Myers is under his 3-year contract till 2025. His $10.5 million with incentives. Okie dokie. Solomano, hello. Hi there. What do you think about quarterback Sanders? I think there's a little bit too much character assassination going on with him right now. This is obviously something you're supposed to do in that window between the combine and the draft. The end of the season, the combine and the draft is kind of the haterade area where everyone goes in to go, he's stupid, he's not as smart, he's not as nice, he's not as cool, and keep marking him down for different reasons. But he gave people some, you know, by acting a little bit, you know, flippant, you know, standing up on the podium with his hands on the top of the podium like he's bench pressing it or something. You know, you didn't really see too many players being so boisterous, you know what I mean? So usually when you do that, you're doing the same thing his dad was trying to do and say, hey, look at me, I'm the real deal. Well, just, let us figure that out. It's not the same era. You know what I mean? Everyone says, well, why can't he do it as his dad did it? It made his dad rich. It was a different era. When Deion Sanders was arguing about what position he should play and which team he should play for, and you better not pick me because I'll hold out for some crazy number and make you trade me. He said that, Deion Sanders. But try to remember back. That was when they had like 10 cameras at the draft, not 57 that are all HD, can zoom in to your teeth from 100 yards away. Should we have another outstanding season? His completion percentage on receptions are off the hook. I think he'll have another good year. I really do. I think he's very happy to be back with Pete Carroll. I hope so too, Dustin King. Cullen Baldridge, I read this. I don't know if it's to be fact, but it said that Ginty has short arms and is going to have fumble issues in the NFL. Cullen Baldridge, I can't argue with that. I really can't. And that's a great profile picture. Looks like it's like your whole family there camping. That looks cool. I have heard that. I don't think most people are taking that seriously. There are a lot of backs that have short arms. It doesn't get reported very often because it's irrelevant. And so now you're looking for things against Ginty. You can't mark him for his toughness. You can't mark him as injury prone. You can't say he's slow. You can't say he has bad hands. So he's got small arms. We measured him. They're only X amount of inches. He'll be a fumbler. That's just something to say in a deep voice like that. Our new defensive backs are both 6'2", 6'3", and weigh 220 to 200 pounds. Yeah, and Mark, that was how the Legion of Doom was built. Big corners and safeties. He wants them to be hitters and tacklers. He's less concerned with blanket Deion Sanders kind of coverage, and he's more concerned with putting fear into other people's offense, that they just don't want to be hit by these big dudes. And that does work. The Raiders used to do it a lot. Pete knew Mad Max was his heart to getting in the locker room and made Max happy to ball out for him. I see the boom happen. Jai, everything you just said I agree with, but more importantly, he did it with the right timing. It's just luck, but he's getting here right when Max is really... I know everyone thinks Max has played his best football, but he hasn't. He hasn't. And I don't know how many of you have ever heard anyone even say that, but I'm telling you right now, Raider Bear Live is letting you know, putting my reputation out there, Max is going to be even better. He's going to be even better. In fact, I would be willing to bet he'll win a defensive MVP, Most Valuable Player award in the next couple years. Have you seen his wife? Have you seen his daughter? Have you met his mom and dad? Because I have, and they're all amazing. Amazing. They support every inch of what he does, tattoos, the travel, football, the whole 9 yards. He comes from an awesome family. You know what I mean? I can report that firsthand. His family, they're awesome. So we've only seen part of it. And if you remember, Max Crosby, year by year, these last 2 years, has gotten better. What happened? He got married. Following year, had a baby. Played the best football of his life. Now look at him. Got Pete Carroll in the building. He's getting a lot of the kind of help that he wants to get. We're going to get someone. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to get Khalil Mack, so that's off the board. He's going to go back to his Chargers. But I thought that was interesting. I like the fact that we did look in on it, but didn't happen. And, honestly, the question I was asked earlier about whether or not I would draft up for Abdul Carter, I was asked that, and I kind of got away from that answer. And so I want to go back and just say definitively real quick, if I have my choice between Ginty or Abdul Carter, I'm absolutely going for Abdul Carter. Absolutely. See, to me, that's no question. If you can get Abdul Carter, you get Abdul Carter. Because there's things about what Abdul Carter does you can't teach. Being powerful at angles. Being comfortable and confident enough to move in angles and know that your strength is going to be there against these guys. You can't teach that. You can ask them to train hard and, lift weights, but you can't teach that kind of desire and commitment and the tenacity that Max has. Max tries to kill you On every play, every single play. He doesn't take plays off. Even the plays he takes off don't look like plays he takes off. And because, no, I don't think there's any such thing as a player that doesn't take plays off, even in the old days. Even if it was Lawrence Taylor, Reggie White, bring up whoever you want. You take plays. We're all still human men, okay? But at the same time, there's guys that, only take a couple the whole game. Get a little Gatorade and go right back into tearing your ass up. So, we'll see. I'm excited. Corey! With the 6th pick, I'll take Abdul Carter. Well, if he's there, you almost have to. I would say if Ginty and Abdul were there, you'd have to go with Abdul. But I just don't see a scenario where Abdul is there. For example, let's say Abdul Carter was still there at 5. Someone who sees that is going to say, holy moly, and they're going to reach out to number 5 and give him whatever and get Abdul Carter. Maybe it'll be us. I don't know, but I would do that. I think that if you ask me this question, then you'll understand what I'm getting at. Let's say someone said, Bear, what position and player could you add to this team, but it's only one guy that's going to affect the whole roster, okay? Abdul Carter affects the whole roster. Ashton Ginty does not. Now, is he a running back? And if he comes to fruition, can he be that? Yes. But there's so much more bust potential in running backs than in defensive linemen and offensive linemen that I'm going Abdul Carter all day. All day. And he'll immediately make your defensive backs better because his pressure will cause the ball to come out more sooner. And we all know, all of us know, men, women, young, old, that when the defense gets the ball to come out sooner, it means your defensive backs and your linebackers, your corners, have a much higher likelihood of interceptions or batting the ball down and preventing plays than they do if a quarterback's able to go back there and measure and look around and wonder if he's going to throw and then, we can't have him doing that. And if you have Abdul Carter and Mad Max, there won't be any quarterback able to do that. Because on any given play, one of them or both is going to get there. If that's the case, you've got a quarterback running around like this the whole game, trying not to get rocked. When you have a quarterback doing that, you've already won the game. Because sooner or later, because of those emotions, he's going to make mistakes that lead to our victory. So in my opinion, if you can get Abdul Carter, that one player changes the dynamic of your entire team, even the offense. Why? If they're causing pressure and causing 3 and outs, which cause punts, and then brings your offense back on the field to give them extra drives, extra opportunities, because you keep stopping the team instead of allowing them to score, get back on the bench, get some oxygen, get some Gatorade, come out, score again. You see what I'm saying? Be that whether it's touchdown, field goal, you can't have it. So if you bring in an Abdul Carter, it's on. It's on. So if we were going to trade up, and if I see us trade up, I'm thinking along that line. Not Cam Ward, not Shedeur Sanders. I think it's going to be the big man. If he doesn't come off the board first. He's that good. So if he gets to like 3 or 4, though, and I'm the Raiders, I'm making phone calls. I'm trying to see why has he got that far, and if I can give whatever to whoever has the 4th, or 5th pick, then hey, I'm in. I can, Bob, but I would have to do it on my next show. I can't pull it up from where I'm at right now. Let me see. Jason Eaton, I would rather have Hampton. Okay. Mike Ref, hi Bear, are you familiar with Jahad Campbell, Alabama linebacker? No, I'm not completely familiar with him, but if you give me a little bit on him, I could probably get into the conversation with you. Let me see here. Give me just 1 second. Let's see if I can pull him up here. Linebacker. Let's see. Okay, he's not a top 3 guy. At least they don't have him as a top 3 guy. Whoops. What am I looking at here? Oh, it flipped back to last year for some reason. Yeah, 2024. Don't do that. Okay, there we go. Oh, damn. Ah, damn. We're almost at the end of the show, so I can do this for you. Linebacker. Okay, here we go. Jelon Walker is considered number 1. Jihad Campbell, number 2. And Demetrius Knight Jr., number 3. Now, let me see here. What was the guy's name you asked me? Jihad Campbell. Okay. Let me see if I got this guy. Jihad Campbell. Did I already call his name? Oh, yeah. There we go. He's this. Oh, okay. They got him ranked 2nd. 4.52 is excellent for a linebacker. 235 pounds, a little bit light in the butt, but that's the direction we're going with linebackers in the NFL now. We need guys that can run, pick up these tight ends, and running backs come out of the backfield. For example, the 3rd-ranked linebacker, Demetrius Knight, runs a 4.58. He's a South Carolina. Let's see. And the kid from Georgia, number 1, Jelon Walker, runs a 4.50. So he isn't really any faster than Jihad Campbell. Okay, now let me go down here for a second. After extensive film study of Campbell's 2024 season, his impact potential jumps off the screen. His usage at Alabama, in particularly, here we go. Where'd that go? Okay. Yeah, his usage. After initially committing to Clemson, Campbell found his home at Alabama. Let's see, hauling 15 catches for 249 yards. While racking up 7 sacks in his junior season. Okay. He looks nice, man. I got to say, he looks nice. I mean, to me, that's what's beautiful about this draft. Almost no matter where we go in this draft, we're going to get a good name. We're definitely going to get a good name. Steven Shaw! Appreciate the love on the stars, brother. One more time, my man. Steven Shaw. Steven, if I find another time that you sent me coins, I'll definitely shout it. That one was weak. I went so weak on you on that one. Let's see. Yes, we do have 9 picks. Who said that? Mark Vargas. Yes, we do have 9 picks. I think the Raiders should trade back to the teens and get an extra 2nd or 3rd. John, that's not a bad idea because there's so much depth at places we need. I don't even know that you necessarily have to draft down from the 6. You could pick at 6 and then draft down in the 2nd round because we only have 1 2nd-round pick. Lucky, I'm doing well. Good to see you, bro. Your birthday's tomorrow. Right on. Can't wait, Bob. We'll have to celebrate that tomorrow. Look at Steven. Steven Shaw! And Mrs. Shaw. And Bob, you're already getting happy birthdays from Steven Shaw and some other people. Mark Vargas says Campbell 6'3", 245. I like that. Right size. I only think we should go, though, maybe one of these guys. Not 2 or 3, because remember, you have Eichenberg off the bench. Now, you have Eichenberg, and you still need to see what he has. Did we lose Luke Masterson? I don't know if we lost Luke Masterson. If we didn't lose Luke Masterson, that's another guy with minutes that you kind of... I would shade him out there, because the guy has grown with us, for 3-4 years now. And just like the Divine Diablo situation, I'd hate to lose him right when we've got him playing his best. You know what I mean? I think the Divine Diablo thing had to happen because I think Divine Diablo's a good linebacker, but he's never going to be more than good. You know what I mean? He's not going to be a guy that's going to shut it down with you. You need Robert Spillane twice. If we had 2 Robert Spillanes, if Divine Diablo were putting up the same numbers or close, we wouldn't even be looking for a linebacker. We would have paid them both. But now when you have one and not the other... and Spillane, for as well as Spillane played, and he did play well, our leading tackler many, many times over during games and season overall, you can find other guys in free agency that can play that way at linebacker. And Elanda Robinson is just, what I'm talking about. Alexa, resume! oh, God, this terrible song again. Alexa, stop! Alexa, play Hide by NASA.
To listen to specific songs anytime you like.
Here we go again. Watch. Look, she's telling me, oh, you have to get unlimited, da da da, and then it plays a song. Because you don't have the unlimited there. All right, that's my show. Much love. Shout out to our armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, Space Force, for all you do. The energy and love of this show is dedicated to your sacrifice, active and veteran. Much love. Martha Censoneros, what's up, girl? You get here right when I'm shutting down. God bless you right back, Stephen Shaw. Much love, brother. Good to see you, Martha. Good night. Good night, everyone. Good night, Lucky. Good night, Bob. Good night, Troy, Gil. Good night, Stephen Shaw. James Walker said, great show, Bear. He's like my big brother. He says that to me every time. I'm starting to not believe him. I think there's times when I did not perform well, and James is going, good job, Raider Bear, making sure you still feel good, youngster. Notice how I instantly made him older than me? What's up? You know, and David Pelcliver didn't win tonight, and I brought out my machete just to have it when he came on the show. And then what does he do? He doesn't show up. And for those of you guys who know what all those holes are in the blade, what those are for, you see how savage this is, okay? I put this through a hog or a boar just one time. Woo! One time, and it's over. In Raider colors. Don't act like you didn't notice that. Okay, that is bomb. The Raiders. No, it's not for sale. The Raider machete, baby. I love this thing. Can you tell?